Hey guys, welcome back to Pink Plus, a safe place for women who should know they aren't alone. I'm your host, Savannah Burns, and for today's episode, I'd like to go deeper into a comment I made in the first episode to give a little context in hopes that I don't come across as a judgy hag. So last episode, I made a comment that I feel I should address and explain. My comment followed a story I was giving about how in the midst of my depression while I was pregnant, I found myself going over to my mom's house all the time just to crawl in bed and cry. I had told her I suddenly understood why women had abortions. Now thinking back on the comment, I feel like I should expand on what I was talking about and give some background. I grew up in a Christian household. My parents were very involved in our local Baptist church when I was a kid, and it was kind of the church that was pretty black and white about most taboo topics. No abortions, no adultery, no sex before marriage, no divorce. Honor your mother and father no matter what. Does this sound familiar to your religious experience? I stood pretty firmly as pro-life for many years with the idea that if you became pregnant and didn't want your baby, someone out there did. Just give your baby up for adoption. It's as simple as that. I continued to feel that way even as an adult and started even resenting women for abortions when I struggled so hard to have my own baby. Why in the world would you casually give up being pregnant when you actually got the privilege of conceiving, with the exception of rape or incest? Struggling to get pregnant causes some pretty bitter and sad thoughts, and I'm not proud for some of the things I thought about complete theoretical strangers. My beliefs changed pretty quickly when I fell into depression after I got pregnant. Let me set the scene for you. Here, I had tried for a long time to get to be a mom. I took a nasty drug called Clomid that made me crazy, causing me internal pain, made my hair fall out excessively, etc. Then my fiance and our 3 dogs nearly drowned in an accident at the river. One of our dogs actually did pass that day. Suddenly, I'm ravaged with anxiety and having panic attacks. My doctor doubles my dose of Prozac to help me get through this period of intense sadness. And I'm trying every day to cope with the loss of our fur baby and the traumatic experience we endured, and simultaneously now trying to plan my wedding because we had just gotten engaged. I find the most perfect wedding dress, we find a venue, we book our honeymoon, and then I find out I'm pregnant. At that point, I'm just so happy I'm having a baby that I don't even care. I'll be, 34 weeks pregnant at my wedding. No problem. I'll just return my dress and get in a bigger size. We took the dress in, and not only can my dress not be altered because of the quote-unquote structure of it, whatever that means, but they also wouldn't let me do a return and only gave me store credit. Okay, fine. Let's find a new dress. They strapped a fake belly on me and brought me a bunch of dresses to try on, and I'm not kidding you when I say that every single dress they brought to me was this ginormous, unflattering trash bag dress that did nothing for my self-esteem and made me feel like they thought I should be embarrassed to be pregnant at my wedding. And I wasn't. This wasn't a shotgun wedding. My daddy didn't have to threaten my boyfriend to marry me because he knocked me up on prom night or anything. We wanted this baby. I prayed for this baby. Oh, and our honeymoon? Yeah, that was a no-go too. My OB about laughed me out of the exam room when I asked if I could fly to Hawaii at 34 weeks. Not unless you have a perfect pregnancy, she said, which, spoiler alert, I did not. So we tried to cancel and remembered quickly we had opted out of the insurance because, of course, we're going on our honeymoon, quote unquote. You can't see me, but I'm rolling my eyes so loud. We were now out a lot of money. My wedding was quickly crumbling. I worked night shifts at an urgent care doing 12 hours in a stressful environment, and my body was fighting back. I had excruciating migraines, the kind that just laughs at Tylenol. My body was bogged down. I couldn't sleep during the day because I was quickly becoming uncomfortable in my own body and was exhausted at work, and I was working night shifts with no help from caffeine. And to go back to my original point, I now wasn't taking my depression medication either. It was a lot, and I was imploding. I just wanted out. I wanted out of this pregnancy. I wanted out of this job. I just wanted to sleep in peace with no stress. I called out of work a lot because I was absolutely miserable. My head hurt what seemed like constantly. I was plagued with anxiety and stress, and I just couldn't do it. I was in crisis. One night I remember thinking, I need to be in church tonight or I'm not going to make it. I Googled what church services were available on a Monday night. Not a lot. And when I got there, I sat in the truck and cried in the parking lot. When I wasn't crying at home, I was curled up next to my mom crying. Here's where my comment about finally understanding why women have abortion comes in. If I didn't have my mom, my few women friends at work who understood, my husband who, despite not having any idea what I was going through, still tried to be there for me, if I didn't have that support system in my life, I wouldn't have made it through my pregnancy. I would have given up, probably hurt myself, though I knew I didn't really want to hurt the baby, whether I was thrilled about being pregnant or not. I finally understood where a woman who didn't have a great support system would choose an abortion. Here I was with a good job, a great relationship, an amazing family, and a roof over my head, and I was feeling so low. If a woman wasn't financially stable, didn't have a family or a partner, or even a solid place to live, I could absolutely empathize not wanting to be able to bring that baby into that kind of life. I had learned the hard way that not every woman had this glorious pregnancy and brings a newborn home to a stable and nurturing environment. It wasn't my place to say I didn't support women who weren't ready for motherhood in their current situation, just like it isn't a man's place to dictate whether women even have the option or not. I understand fully that women have abortions for a whole array of reasons. The comment I made to my mom was me finally understanding that a woman with extreme depression and no support system may find abortion to be her only avenue of survival. I hope that clarifies that comment I made in the first episode so I don't come across like I have no idea why anyone would abort. Most people can look back and say they were very naive in some of the ways that they thought when they were just young and dumb, and I'm absolutely one of those people. I didn't know what I didn't know. All I can do now is be better, do better, support other women, listen when needed, just be a safe place for anyone who needs to let it out. Thanks for listening. Please follow me on Instagram at PinkPlusPodcast and private message me. I'd love to hear your story, your thoughts, or if you're interested in being a guest speaker in an episode. Catch you next time.